Mark, how do you think people can improve the golf equipment?
So as in improve their set makeup, those kind of things, like get a better bag of clubs?
Yeah.
That is a good question, James Robinson. Right, fun video where me and James talk about what excuses, what reasons you need to change your golf clubs. What I want to know from you in that description down below is when was the last time you changed the golf club? What was it? Why did you change it? Down there. I want to hear from you. And also, if you want to see more videos from me and James, hit that like button so we know you want to see more from us too. And also, if you're new here, welcome. Consider subscribing. Loads of free golf content. If you're learning to play golf and you want to know about golf equipment, just hit that subscribe button down there. If you're already subscribed, maybe ring that bell, then you won't miss the notifications. So first port of call for me would be gap plugging and gap testing.
Okay.
And that can be as basic as being inside and hitting shots with all your clubs to see where the gaps are.
Yeah.
Now, when you think of gap testing, you want to think of gap testing in 3 dimensions. So I'm going to hit shot, and this club needs to go a certain yardage. So this is a 7 iron, I think, yeah, and I've hit that 165. But if you look on the screen, it's also gone slightly up the left.
Yeah.
So I will have this gap I want to plug, as well as the short and long gap I want to plug. And sometimes people only think of the short and long when it comes to gap testing.
Yeah, so a lot of people, when they talk about gapping as such, it's pure distance gapping, isn't it?
Correct. And what happens, I don't know if you've done many gap tests, but it's such a funny pattern with gap tests. So I start at the wedges and move up,
yeah,
or down in loft. And it's 2 or 3 shots to kick us off and you start getting the numbers.
Yeah.
Then you start going up the numbers of the clubs or down the loft, so you get to a 7 and it's like now 4 shots or 5 shots because you have to delete a couple.
Yeah.
Then you get to a 5 iron, it's now 10 shots. Do you see what I mean? As it goes up until they get the ball on the tee and then it comes down again.
Yeah.
So it's really noticeable on that kind of 170 to 220 if they're still on the ground at that point, where their gaps change because their miss hits increase. Yeah. But also their gaps left to right change. So your general pattern when you look on like the downward view on like my launch monitor, they're like hitting the line, little dotting around it, and then it just all starts leaking right as you start going up. So you've got to look at the gaps everywhere. So what I mean by that as well, if I'm hitting a par 3 a lot, which is 200 yards, but I've got a club that hits that number and I'm hitting it, but it's always missing to the right, this is where I might be dialing in a neck. Yeah. Getting one that's maybe a hybrid that's more upright, which goes a little bit more left. So my gap testing is going to be all 3 dimensions, and like you say, people are. I mean, you've got to think of the distances as well, because there's no point having a 20-yard gap between certain clubs. But you've got to think left and right in there as well. So the first port of call, I think, for people when it comes to thinking about changing clubs and improving their clubs, they've got to really understand their patterns with each club and what gaps they're trying to plug. You can do that on the course, so collecting data with your game golfs and your Arcos systems that will give you over a period of time, or you can come inside in places like this and you can hit shots with all of them and look for those patterns and then plug them. The other big thing with gap testing as well is having another opinion. We do this when we test, and like I get Matt to look at the numbers sometimes because like you just look at things sometimes from your perspective, you forget to look again from 3 dimensions in the real world. Yeah. He'll say, well, I played with you loads and you say that's going to the right, but you hit plenty of good shots with that hybrid. Like, shut up, you don't need to change that club kind of thing.
So I totally agree with that, and we've all been there where you've got maybe a problem hole, you've got a problem shot on the golf course. And I always think of my dad, because my dad is such an avid golfer. Yeah. And what he generally does is say, right, the 3rd hole, par 3, I'm just terrible at it. I can never hit the green, so I'm going to get a hybrid that plugs that hole, that gap. And he will only use that hybrid on that hole, that shot, but he's happy that he's got peace of mind now that he's got a club for that shot.
I think that's a really good point. And what's interesting when I go on like European Tour ranges, and you got to think these guys have got access to whatever clubs they want, often within their brand, and they can literally do whatever they need to them. Because they're playing such different environments and different places week in, week out, I can go on a tour range every week and you'll see one player changing his clubs. Where someone like your dad, who might be playing the same course every week, they won't need to change as much, but they will have one club for one hole. And that makes as much sense as that tour pro who's going, right, I want the hybrid because I can't get on that par 5 and stop it because I want it coming in high or what have you. So it's about being very much like aware of your environment, isn't it?
It absolutely is, yeah. And also, like I said, you're just trying to build confidence, aren't you? Tour pros are trying to build confidence on numbers, yardages, shots. Your average golfers are just trying to build confidence on the hole that they don't particularly like.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
You've got some good looking irons in that bag, James. Nice looking wedges as well.
Yeah.
What's your next point about trying to improve someone's bag?
I think it's got to be, are you happy with the look and feel of the club? I mean, we can all agree that these look pretty good, don't they, to be fair, as a traditional iron. And a lot of people, they'll see something come out and it's shiny and they like it, which is pretty much what I did, to be fair. I was using the 919 Tours before that, enjoyed them, hit them well, but thought they looked too good to pass up. So moved into them. I feel like that's helped me improve my bag because I'm going to practice more. I definitely have practiced more since. I've played a little bit more golf, but I did know that I potentially wasn't good enough for these in 4 and 5 iron. So I've got HMB in the 4 and 5 iron. I've comboed and I've tried to stick with the look and feel because that was the idea behind changing. And I went down for a fitting, did it all properly, got the right shaft. Got the grips, I like the look of it, to be fair.
The line grips.
The line grip,
I do like the lines.
But to be fair, I could have easily gone MMC or MCC, I always get that mixed up. I could have gone that in the 4 and 5 iron, but it wasn't as appealing for me, so that's pretty much why I went with those, and they do perform better. So
looks and feels, so obviously at some point you sacrifice the look, don't you, I guess?
Yeah, a little bit,
Then it's that contradiction and blend of having what you want to look and feel, but it's got to then somehow work with what you deliver as well, isn't it? So you were finding, obviously, when you went longer in here, that the performance was better. If I was just to wave a magic wand now and say that you could use a full set of these, even down to like a 1 iron if they made them, you'd probably want to be that person.
I would definitely want to be that person, You know me so well.
But most golfers are. So it's about that combination of what you like the look of and what you feel like you can get out of them, I guess, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
I personally think looks and feels are, and I've said it for I don't know how many years I've been reviewing clubs, and it's always been on the basis of my reviews, even to the point where I get people saying, why do you talk about the look and feel? Well, because it's so much about what I want the club to do, and obviously there's performance changes as you go from different irons, thickness and thinness, and drivers which are bigger shapes, smaller shapes, and you got turbulators and knot and all the kind of tech that they put on them. But the one noticeable thing that I had when I was fitting people a lot is you give them a club they don't like, you get good numbers out of it, but they keep whinging about it. Like, I can't hit that, don't like that. I say, look, the numbers are good. And then they go, well, let me try an equivalent drive, a different make that they like the look of, same numbers. I learned very quick as a fitter, why fight with that? Why fight that? If they're the same numbers and they like the look of one and hate the look at the other, you go your money, you get the one you like the look and feel of, because all that's going to happen, I'm going to sell them the one that goes 1 yard further that they hate the look of, and they're back in my shop a week later going, oh, I hate that driver. Or I'm more unlucky than that, they're talking to their mate going, Mark, push me in this driver and I hate it, I'm not going back there.
I never liked that driver.
I'm not going back there again. And it's like, well, okay. So I think that's a really good point. Cool. Are these long?
No.
They're standard, are they?
Standard those,
oh yeah, they do feel good, don't they?
All 5'9" of me, Mark. I'm not having longer.
Look and feel. You don't get much better looking and feeling.
You don't. Absolutely not.
So in people's bags improving, I think putter fitting is probably one of the biggest holes. Yeah,
it's one that a lot of people don't even think of going at because this doesn't go 300 yards. And a lot of people just want it to do that, don't they?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I've done some tests. Here's an interesting one for you, okay? People think that the driver's full of tech and it's got more ability to show tech because, like you say, it's going further. But I've done changes in putter fits where delivery of face has been as big as anything, if not bigger, than changing a weight in a driver. So from a grip, from a weight, from where the shaft joins to different lines on it, makes them deliver a face. If they're, say, delivering it 3 open to a par, it makes them deliver it 0.2 close to a par. Do you see what I mean? So I don't see those kind of changes with drivers. Often I think the idea with tech is like the wrong way around. Just because this doesn't go that far, it doesn't mean it
might do if you try. You don't know, do you?
Can help you, exactly. So putter fitting is definitely something I think people can do to improve their bag with ease.
I think definitely that, and not only it's got to turn, has it? Not only that, but down to like grip preference and things that make you feel a big difference around on and around the greens.
100% agree. Massive gains can be had here. It's just not as sexy as bombing a drive, which is where
for some people.
But a gain is a gain. Every stroke counts, Mark Brody. Every stroke counts. This counts. Even though hitting it drives long and straight, it can count more This still counts.
Yeah.
Get them fit, people. Wedge fitting, James.
Wedge fitting.
And then wedge blending. This is such a gap in people's bags when I have them for lessons. So you can see I've actually got 4 wedges, but I haven't. That's my pitching wedge.
Yeah.
But it's still fitted to my irons, but then to my wedges as well.
Yeah.
And then I've got lofts that I need to hit certain numbers with bounces and grinds that I want to allow me to try and chip to any kind of decent standard, which is hard for me. That's why I really need a lot of love in here. So many golfers, I think, I mean, I've done fittings for years and did do it, like they get the irons, they get the driver, and then they're done. Well, do you want to talk wedges? Oh, I got to get back to work.
Yeah.
Oh wow, like you're going to be using your wedges a lot. This is a great place where I think people can really improve their bag if they really start to think it through a bit more.
Yeah. You know what, Mark, I think you're absolutely right there. And I also think people miss out on a lot of fun you can have with wedges as well.
Yeah.
So you've gone here, you've got your, what have you got? 46, 50 and 56, 60.
The old stamping.
Yeah, a bit of stamping, bit of colours, bit of black colours. You could have chrome, you could have rusty, you could have... And like the similar, we spoke about putters earlier, and you can have a bit of fun with them, you can have them your own colour, you can do what you want with them. I'm a huge wedge fan. My office is full of wedges because I just love changing them, love getting different stamps and stuff. I think people miss out on how much fun you can have with them as well as obviously being productive and improving your bag.
What I think as well, what's interesting is this leads back to your feel.
Yeah.
Looks and feel, and wedges are so specialised. You definitely want to try and tie them into the looks and feel that you were talking about with your irons, because if you can enjoy hitting these more, like you said, with your irons and your putter, there's a better chance you're going to practice your chipping more. Practice your chipping more, it's only going to heighten your feel, which is only going to help you shave a few shots here and there. But I mean, put your hands up in the comments down below, let me know who of you have had a wedge fit and who hasn't. I'm sure there's more of you that haven't even, has never had a wedge fitting. Definitely something I think more people could improve their bags easily by getting into these kids. Now, if you want to improve your driver, so you want an excuse to get a new driver, the biggest gains I see with people when it comes to drivers is if they've got really old tech. We're talking like 5 years back and even a bit longer. There are a few gains to be had with modern technology through speeds and different faces and dialing in necks, those kind of ideas. But the biggest gains, and I had this all through my fitting career and still see it now with people, is when they come to me with a driver, which is modern, bought in the last, say, 2 to 5 years, but it's not been fit correctly or well for them, or they've changed their swing. Your delivery is where you will find the most gains if you want to change this club out. If it's not just shiny, if it's not just new, which is a great excuse to buy a new club as well. But if you want to make gains, actually have an excuse to buy a new driver and actually add distance or accuracy. And again, remember, it's not always distance. You might want to find accuracy with a neck that's more upright, that allows it to turn a different way. It's through the quality of your last fitting is where I see gains. And I also see people obviously coming with brand new drivers that haven't been fitted. Used to love those when I was fitting, because I think probably a good chance I could find a better loft, better head shape, bit of weight placement, better neck dialing in to give them 5, 10, 7, sometimes, I mean, up to 25 yards by quality of fitting. The excuse to buy a new one of these is there, subject to what you've done in the past a little bit. Right, it's your turn. Let us know if any of this helped. Let us know what we missed as well. What excuses did we miss down there in that comment section? I want to hear. If you want to see me and James do more videos together, enjoy my time with James. Thanks for hosting me, James. Hit that like button so it lets us know that you want us to do more, and we'll do more. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.